A tape from 2006 has emerged of OJ Simpson appearing to confess to the deaths of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman.
You know, this really isn't my type of content. I don't normally focus body language readings around anyone outside of YouTube, but this time around it just kind of felt necessary because I think a lot of people are kind of curious about this, and I am too, so why not? I originally wanted to make a video around Tati and Halo Beauty, but I think videos about the controversy surrounding Halo Beauty are getting striked down, so I'm not gonna take my chances on that. But here we go, OJ Simpson, let's get into it.
The chapter 6 is called The Night in Question, and you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is
purely
hypothetical.
Yes.
You've got two eye rolls there whenever he says purely hypothetical.
Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. You know, they're going to, you know, whatever they want to feel.
There's a look of frustration, and then he sits up in his seat, kind of readjusts himself. That's more so because he's annoyed at what the interviewer just asked him. And there's an eyebrow raise on the because in his sentence, oh, it's hard for me because it's hypothetical. And that eyebrow raise indicates that he's kind of reminding himself that he has to speak in hypotheticals. And then on the I know that people are going to think whatever they think, he gets really stiff and there's a fake laugh that he inserts there. And then he loses his train of thought afterwards, so just the general vibe that I'm getting from this first clip is just irritation and imagination.
I got a vivid imagination.
In the book, the hypothetical is...
Charlie pulls that up.
Charlie.
Now, the editing for this video is absolutely disgusting. It is so hard to get a good read on OJ because it keeps flashing back to this woman, and I wish she wouldn't have helped him in this situation. It really looked like he was trying to figure out where the fuck his story started, and when she says Charlie, he gets that smile on his face because he's relieved because now he has a place to start. And I'm sorry that I keep pausing the video, it's just starting to annoy me now that there's so many different clips of just this woman paying attention to what he's saying. Whatever, let's hear about Charlie.
This guy Charlie shows up, the guy who I had recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and you know, I'm kind of broad-stroking this. We go over.
So if I'm following the story correctly, OJ's reasoning for being at Nicole's house on the night of her murder was because his new friend Charlie had some interesting information that made him think that something was going down at Nicole's house. So he and Charlie got in the Bronco and went over there. But the problem that I find with this first part of the story is whenever he says, I don't know why Charlie had been at Nicole's house, he stutters on Nicole's name, he squints on the I don't know why he had been, and then comes back and scans the more constructive part of his brain. Now you guys are gonna have to forgive me for this one because I tried to refrain from doing any external research on OJ Simpson or this case in particular, but I don't know if this Charlie person is a real person, if that's his real name, if he even exists, if they're using a fake name, but it seems to me like whatever he just said was a complete lie, and either this man doesn't exist, or Charlie is in fact a real person, and OJ knows exactly why he was there.
Get in the Bronco and go over it.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
To the detail.
You park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on a cap and gloves.
So you see how when he says hypothetical the second time, he kind of tilts his head into his right shoulder, and he smiles out of stress, and then he starts moving his arms and his head, but his torso, shoulders, legs, they're all staying still? This isn't hypothetical. This is what really happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And you reached under the seat for?
A knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie saying, "You ain't bringing that." And I didn't, right? But I believe he took it.
Charlie took the knife?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me get this straight. Charlie told OJ not to take the knife, but then took the knife himself? Logic? There is none. But what I wanted to point out was that OJ has a classic duping delight smile on right now.
So, the back gate, you go through the back gate,
Yes.
and it was open or broken or?
I don't recall.
This is the most blatant lie I have ever seen anyone tell, ever.
Okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on. And I can see that it appears like Nicole had candles all the time. She really did, to keep her overhead down, I think. And music was on, and while I was there, a guy shows up. You know?
So Ron Goldman comes in the back gate.
Yeah, a guy that I really didn't recognize. I may have seen him around, but I really didn't recognize him to be anyone. And in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
He says to you, "I just came by to return a pair of glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant."
Yeah, words to that effect, yes.
And he was
I don't know if I believed it or didn't believe it. It was pretty much immaterial because, you know, I was more concerned about everything that was going on, you know, and was fed up with it, I guess. And
you get into a fight. Nicole comes out. And
a verbal
fight.
This is where I start to see him get actually angry when recalling this. And for a hypothetical story, you wouldn't expect someone to get this mad.
Got a little loud, and by that time, Nicole had come out, and we started having words about who is this guy, why is he here, what's going on.
And she says, "This is my house, get the F out of here."
Yes, and which I didn't like because, once again, this is the same person, and if you read the book, you'll see some things that happened in the 2 weeks leading up to this that were very, very irritating, you know. And I think Charlie had followed this guy in, wanted to make sure there was no problem, and he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, "Well, you think you can kick my ass?" And I remember I grabbed the knife. I do remember that portion, taking the knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember. Except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
What kind of stuff?
blood and stuff around. You know, I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know we got to back up again.
Yeah, this is a very, very guilty mind. Of course, events didn't happen exactly the way he's describing them, but they definitely happened along some of those lines. If you ask me, OJ Simpson is guilty. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one.